All right, guys, we're going to start getting this underway here. This is going to be my first time using the new broadcasting fucking whatever the hell this is.
All right, guys, we're going to start getting this
underway here.
Certain things like the raise hand
this is going to be my first time using the new
legitimate question.
Broadcasting. Don't be afraid to use it, but do not abuse it, Harrow. We will have people within the staff that can accept these requests. If I'm not mistaken, both Prophet and Ziegler can also accept these requests, or like they might notify me if someone does, because I'm going to be looking at our notes here. But we have a lot of stuff to go over, and it's very imperative that you guys are paying attention, that you guys are listening, and bearing with me here, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming down. And I promise you, your buddies that aren't here but are on the server, or like to say they're on the server, if they're not here right now, they're missing out on a lot of stuff, because everyone's opinion here kind of impacts what's going to happen with the server. So I'm going to start off with some of the really good news here. So we're going to be inviting Ziegler onto the official management. I know he's been up on the S1 management area, but it's not necessarily the management itself. So he's going to be a part of like the higher tier management, like the top 4, top 3 sort of deal. So you guys want to congratulate him. He's been doing fantastic work with the server ever since he got here, and I'm really proud to say that he's been with us this entire time. Next subject here, while we're on the note of kind of staff sort of things, is we're going to be combining the Zeus and admin team into like one unit of collective, just the staff team. This is to help kind of alleviate the sort of, do I want to be a Zeus or a game master, or do I want to be an admin? And this will kind of help get more people a chance to be a part of our staff team, while also being able to host events and do admin duties. And so this will be a little bit more of a harder position to get into. But it's going to be well worth it, because everyone within the staff team should know how to host events, but should also know how to effectively do their prospective job of keeping the peace on the server. Luckily, our staff hasn't had to actually do their job other than the Zeuses/game masters, because we don't have a lot of incidences that require us to actually ban people. I promise you I can pull up the list of people we have banned from the server itself, and it's like 23 people this entire the past, I think, 15 months we've been up. And that's fantastic for most, like a community. Like, not a lot of people can say that. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, we've been up for longer than 15 months. Now we're moving on some more more kind of complicated things. I need you guys to really, really bear with me here, because this is going to be a lot of stuff. It will be very important that you guys bear with me here. I cannot stress this enough. I do apologize for the coughing. I'm recovering from COVID, as some of you guys might know. So right now we're going to be shutting down the server starting, I think, tomorrow for updates. It's going to be down for like a week or two. And that's going to kind of bring me on to the next point, is that we're going to be doing a community/server reset. And then this is where the community starts to decide things. Because, again, I can't stress this enough, you guys have to really bear with us here. As you guys know, for the past year, or over a year, we've been up. And not a lot of PvE, PMC servers have been open as long as we have. Not a lot of them have. And I think we're probably one of the first ones that have been open for more than fucking 9 months, if I'm being honest with you. And so right now, as you guys have noticed, we've been very inactive as a server itself. Not a lot of people have been getting on. And we know that's because we've kind of been grinding NorthStar down into the dust a little bit. Everyone can kind of, I don't care who you are, how new you are. There's not a lot of new people here anyways, besides Adrian, but even then he's been here for a little while. A lot of you kind of know that NorthStar's kind of been just getting reamed to dry, specifically Valkyrie Company. So the idea that I brought up with Ziegler and Stevenson is that we provide the community with 2 choices. And none of these 2 choices is shutting down the server completely, because I do not want to do that. I do not want to lose this wonderful community. Is we can either do a complete server reset, move to a different company, kind of refresh things a little bit, kind of put things back up, completely reset the staff team, set up applications and stuff like that to gain certain ranks back for people cut it down to just like two divisions, and just kind of work from the bottom again. And in that sense, working from the bottom again and doing a reset, Stevenson is stepping down from as director. And we will be having a new director soon, and I will announce that. Who this top dog is going to be, depending on how the community sways. Some of you can already guess who it is. I'm just saying. So the other option I'm presenting the community with, and this is something I was actually really excited about because it was just kind of a spur at 10:30 at night in the middle of being isolated. And I hit up people like Perkins, Ziegler, Prophet, and Stevenson. I hit them all up on this because I was just super excited to talk about this. Is I possibly want to give the community a complete breath of fresh air by completely moving on to a different genre. And by that genre, I'm talking about one of probably my second most favorite thing other than Warhammer would be Star Wars Clone Wars. And some of you, I think Prophet kind of knows, I have a long history with Clone Wars servers. I've hosted, I think, 3 of them. I hosted 2 Imperial RP servers, and I've been a part of about 6 different communities for Star Wars. So I have a little bit of knowledge here. And whenever I got this chance to kind of restart up this community, I was like, fucking Star Wars, dude. I love Star Wars. We're going to fucking do it. You know, I'd love to do this shit. So I've been kind of working tirelessly for the past 2 days, kind of trying to present you guys this option. And I want to present these roadmaps to you guys. I'll be talking about these roadmaps more or less for both decisions that we make here. Pretty much if we go into PMC, RP, and we stick with it, we're going to be switching to Checker Company. We're going to have a complete reset. I'm still going to be in charge of NS1, but I'm going to get a demotion down to probably like Captain. NS3, we'll probably have to find a commanding officer for him. We'll set out applications for people to get up for higher ranks, like NCO ranks and possibly officer ranks, so they can start taking control of shit. But we pretty much be looking at a complete restart from NorthStar as a general consensus. I don't necessarily know exactly what we would be doing as Checker Company, other than we would be doing QRF type events, completely changing our play style. But it's pretty much going to be like saying like different, like kind of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like the same shit, different filter. If that makes sense for you guys. And that's really not the way I want to put it, but that's pretty much how a lot of people would see it in general. But the roadmap with the CWRP is I've already got a map picked out for us. I've sat down with Perkins, Knight, for like fucking, I think 3 hours this morning, kind of just putting together like a content pack idea and kind of talking about like how we'd want to do things, because Knight also ran a Star Wars server before. The idea is that our main focus will be on the CTs, which I'm thinking will be the 403rd clone battalion, which are, they're all the whiteys, they're the shinies. So that's where our main focus would be at. They'd all have, they're going to have the specific jobs. You're going to have heavy troopers with the Z6 autocannons. You're going to have medics. You're going to have AT troopers and stuff like that. Yeah, I know, Koska, we really do need that script. I honestly don't think Warhammer would work too well with this community, unfortunately. But anyways, back on the subject, because I need to stop looking at the meeting room center. And the main thing is that we're going to try and push for that, but we're also going to add in legions. We're going to do them a couple at like maybe 1 or 2 at a time. The first wave of legions, which will probably be day 1 legions, will be the 501st and probably 5th Fleet, because we're going to need some people to do law and order, especially on the ship, that can guard things, pull patrols, to keep people online. But obviously, we're going to hopefully make sure the leaderships are doing that themselves. The 501st are pretty much going to be, your more tactical assault guys. So I'm going to be running that as like a staff sergeant, pretty much. It's going to be on like a team size of like 5 or 6 people, and that's going to be pretty much going through tryout processes. Excuse me. The idea is after those 2 legions are set up and we start kind of getting more interest and a lot of overflow from the CTs, is that we might open up the 212th next. and they're going to have their own specific role as well. They're going to be, we're kind of looking at more air assault, airborne kind of stuff, as much as the 2nd Airborne does for the 212th, as some of you might know. And that's kind of the idea, is that we kind of give these legions, their very specific roles that they're supposed to do. So we'll kind of see how that goes. After that, it's going to pretty much be a toss-up between 3 legions of which one we'll add. We either want to add the 41st, the 104th, or the 91st. Again, that kind of depends on how we've been doing events, how we kind of feel we need to move things around. And again, it's probably going to end up being a staff decision or my decision about what we add, because I'm going to be keeping an avid eye on this. And with this kind of reset, we're hoping this would help open up the community again to more people, because let's be honest, MRP is not doing so great in general. A lot of people are just going to Arma for MRP because it just makes sense. And Star Wars has always been a solid choice. So we're hoping we can bring in a lot of new members, kind of open up the servers community, because a lot of you might be aware of how many communities actually know us, So that's the idea. There's going to be a lot of changes about how we do things if we do switch to MRP, though, to Clone Wars RP, is that the way we promote people will be a little bit different. It's not going to be just solely based on you can only get promoted by your Legion commander or whatever the fuck. You can get promoted by naval people, any officer, or it's just kind of the recommendations thing. We'll probably just do, at debriefs, be all right, do we have recommendations for promotions? And then we'd be oh, hey, I got a recommendation for Private Snuffy. All right, who else thinks he deserves a promotion? And then we just do it that way, because that's more fair, because a lot of I know personally my guys can call me out about this, specifically Second Lieutenant Knight, is I wasn't very good at promoting my guys in NS1 until recently, and I know for fuck sure no one in NS3 has been getting promoted. So so this will hopefully open it up to where if your command is not there, you can at least get some sort of progression. Let me look at my notes again, and hopefully I can keep on progressing through this meeting before I start opening up the Q&A. Okay. The one thing that would get put in place for CWRP is I discussed this with Perkins, and I did this with my last server once, is you have to earn your nicknames. So when people join in on the server, they're not going to have a nickname. They're going to just be CR 4 numbers, right? We might open up 5 numbers just in case if we feel like we need to, but 4 numbers have usually been a pretty substantial spot. And you do not get your nickname until you're a PFC. And this is to kind of open up this whole grind thing about oh, I want to get to PFC because I want to have my nickname. And the sort of thing is you want to earn that nickname. So your little quips you're with, they start calling you by something. And that's kind of how you earn your nickname, sort of thing. Your name might be, I'm just pulling someone from the basket here. Your name might be Dylan here, but when you get on the server, you might still want to be Dylan, but your buddies call you something else. They call you fucking Rocky or something. Again, I'm just coming up with ideas and on the fly things. They call you Rocky. Well, guess what? That's your nickname from there on out. Obviously, some people might be exempt from that, like people that are getting up in rank positions right off the bat. I will still be Vogel on the server. And other people that might have their ranks, they might kind of get transferred over. They might be able to keep their name. So if I'm going to start opening up the Q&A, you're going to use your handy dandy little raise hand thing, and I'm going to invite you up to speak. You can ask a question and we can discuss it. So first person up would be Lance Corporal Haggard. You're on the floor.
I got a real quick question. If we are going to restart NS, the NorthStar thing, what's going to happen to NS2?
Currently, the idea is that we're just going to have NS3 and NS1 if we do a complete NorthStar reset. The problem with NS2, unfortunately, is just that even when we first added them in, they were really active for a month, and then they just kind of wavered off, as a lot of people know. I mean, NS2 has always been kind of a cursed division, no matter what server I ran. It's just unfortunate. It's kind of like how the 104th is a cursed legion on most Star Wars servers, as you guys might know.
And one more question, radical idea. Like on every Star Wars server, it's either Imperial or Clone Wars. I've never seen one about the Old Republic.
That would be a hard stretch because there's not a lot of mods out there for it. And also, I don't know enough about Old Republic, anyways. I know some people do, but I don't personally. And Clone Wars is personally one of my favorite things. Any other questions before I move back down to the audience?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, cool. By the way, this is not the end of the meeting. This is not kind of like you guys can go off. This is the information you guys probably want to stick around for because your question might get answered. Harrow, you're up on stage. Yep, I invited you. You just need to accept it.
What the? All right, I'm being for real here. Star Wars RP sucks cock. I'm just gonna say
Okay.
that. Second of all, honestly, I was kind of digging the whole military RP idea. It was like in the fact that we've been losing player base due to fucking people going to Arma. I don't think Arma is conducive to fucking roleplay whatsoever. I have trouble taking any milsim seriously. Milsim should just be casual in my opinion. Adding roleplay into it is just fucking kind of stupid. The Source engine allows for that a little better, I guess, in the sense of like, you have a lot more maps to do stuff with. It's not as big, it's not as tedious.
Yeah, I understand that. If I could kind of elaborate off what you're talking about here. So one of the biggest obstacles we've always faced with NorthStar is people having that motivation because it's kind of hard to do passive stuff.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you're trying to do something with NorthStar, I understand how like we have a lot of lore like built up with like fucking Valkyrie Company here, but how about maybe having like 4 divisions or sorry, like four quarters for like each year or something like that, and maybe doing a different company or like a different campaign or just like interchange companies every once in a while. So instead of just NorthStar Valkyrie Company, it's just NorthStar Roleplay.
And that's the point of the server reset if we do stick with PMCRP.
Yeah,
is that we'd be moving over to Chacker Company. But the problem with like moving quarterly to different companies, the campaigns we can always do. We can push out any day. But the problem with switching different companies is that it's resetting people, like it's pretty much like I said earlier, it's basically the same shit, different filter.
Well, then so be it. Basically, that'll probably encourage people to actually die, and then that'll end up having more better effects on like the server because there's a lot more people dying and stuff like that. A lot more conflicts are created because like, oh gee, like you only have 3 months to do said thing, so why not make it fucking count and like have more impact to your shit. Like I don't think 3 months I feel is enough room to where people are gonna feel like what. I feel like I have enough time to, kind of make an impact. And there can also be a lot more, I don't know, game-changing stuff or, like, events that could have a lot more of a impact rather than just having some stuff that stagnates. Like, recently, this campaign, I felt like really nothing happened, at least in terms of the grand scheme of things. We really never lost much. It was just kind of a whole world event that we just kind of took part in. But other than that, I didn't feel like much around it happened or there was really any giant consequences to it.
So I can kind of explain why the campaign was like we in NorthStar shouldn't really be doing major world-changing things in general. We're just a PMC, right? Just still main world things happening, like the U.S. Army and Marine. The militaries are still fighting each other. We're kind of just on the side.
Well, the thing
and I think one of the things that please let me finish here.
Right.
One of the things that has excelled us towards kind of this point that we're at. And again, it's no fault to the Zeuses, and I know some retired Zeuses. I mean, I can trash talk our retired Zeuses that are no longer part of us. Always felt kind of this way of that they wanted to always do these official operations that would give us massive victories, and like we'd be doing it weekly. So like in like the regular timestamp, the SRC war doesn't end till like 2044. But the way that these campaigns and these operations that we had weekly were going is like we would basically be ending the war right then and there. And that's kind of where these operations have kind of gone stagnant because people have run out of ideas. And that's the idea about going to CWRP is we open up that different avenue. And it would, like I saw someone say earlier, add zombies. We can do unofficial zombie events on the ship. Like, honestly, those are fun. The CWRP, those are fun. And this new map for the Venator map that we're going to be going to has like a lot of shit to do. Like it has 4 separate sim rooms, I think 4 different big empty rooms. You can do patrols all up and down the ship. There's a lot of things you can do. And one of the big things that lack with MRP is there's not a lot out there that would encourage people to just be on the server doing shit. And that's something I've always noticed with CWRP itself, and mostly just Star Wars RP servers, is people would oftentimes just get on just to do things. And it didn't even have to be conducive to like an operation or a mission or whatever the fuck. People would just get on and be like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to get the boys together. We're going to go patrol. And we're going to just go do a sim real quick because, we can. And that's also where opening up the admin slots are, is that, we'll hopefully have a lot more admins that can do events and stuff like that. Like even just like sim events.
Yeah.
So I understand. I really like a NorthStar as an MRP. I really, really do. And I'm presented with this issue right now that I'm trying to fight that, we've been dodging for a long time now. And it's just kind of caught up to us at this point. It was kind of excelled earlier. Just these past couple weeks, as some of you are aware of.
Me personally, I just kind of dug the whole like near future PMC vibe and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know. Honestly, about the idea, it's just like I was just on something there.
If this can help alleviate some things that some people might be thinking, we're not bearing the hatchet with NorthStar. Kind of the idea right now is that we'll go to Star Wars for a while. We'll ride out CWRP. Whenever that dies down, we'll go to Imperial, and that tends to die down within like 3 or 4 months. And then whenever we are ready, we can bring back NorthStar in a different light. And that's kind of, it's like a rotation.
That's gonna be such a vast fucking community difference. Though, is you're gonna have people who Halo or sorry, Star Wars.
I promise you, I know this is something we did back with VGN. Only Prophet in Koska, I think, remember VGN. And that's what we did, is we wrote out NorthStar, it died out. Then we did CWRP, Imperial RP. Then we went back to NorthStar and it did better. At the very least, it did well. And that's kind of the idea, is that we're rotating, kind of getting this new light out so we can kind of give everybody a breath of fresh air. We can build a separate community while still having this one, because we're not getting rid of the server. If CWRP happens, I'm going to make a separate Discord, and we're all going to be connected through the community hub, or the NorthStar server hub. So we'll all still be part of NorthStar as a whole. And again, like, we're not killing off NorthStar at all. Like, we've had people that were only around for NorthStar, and people that were only around for Star Wars. So, like, I know Prophet was only ever around for NorthStar. He was never around for the Star Wars stuff.
Go from Star Wars to Halo RP, and then back to NorthStar.
Jesus Christ! No, I don't know how many people actually know Halo stuff. I don't know. I've never really had good experiences on Halo. Also, because I've never been actively in the community for Halo. Anyways, are there any other questions from you, or that I can help alleviate?
Oh, good. All
right, cool. All right, take care. All right. Any more questions? You guys go ahead and put up your speaking request. It can be any questions that regard the community state right now, our roadmaps. I'm seriously begging you guys to ask these questions, because I'm going to put up this voting poll like today, and it's going to end like Sunday, like around the same time. And whenever that ends, I'm not going to be taking any more questions like that. Jameson, do you have any questions? Matt, I haven't seen you in a while. Are there any questions that you specifically have? If you do, just put up that talk request, please. Because I know you have not been around in a hot minute. All right. All right. What's your question, brother?
I mean, I don't know if I will stay around. Maybe if we don't do military RP, I might join in. But I might retire, guys. So yeah, that's
all right. Well, I'm asking for questions.
Okay. Yeah. Don't die, by the way.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna let Ziegler have the stage real quick.
Okay, so real shit. All right, can you all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so basically, I just wanted to touch on this subject a little bit because I know everyone's kind of wanting passive RP too, especially if we move over to Star Wars RP. People are gonna be kind of wondering, we have a big ass ship. What can we do with it? This is gonna be a big wasted opportunity if we don't have any passive RP. And I just wanted to say to those people who might be wondering about that, and I know there are a couple, we will be doing some of that. Our staff and Zeus, staff/Zeus team, we will be, if you guys take random patrols, there's a good chance we might try to do something with you if we're around. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, and if there's any questions about that, you can vocalize now, blah, 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 you get the idea.
Cool. And to kind of piggyback off of what he was talking about is that this again opens up new opportunities for even just the mini events. Because if anyone is familiar with the Star Wars universe, you could be on a ship 1 second, just mind your own goddamn business, and the next thing you know, there's a fucking boarding party, or there's just something crazy happens, and it's just kind of the nature of it. And that's unfortunately something that we haven't been able to really have with MRP, especially in our garrison stance. And it just opens up a lot of avenues of approach for us to be able to do things. And in general, this would also open up a lot of positions for staff. And I'm talking people that are just dedicated to do events, people that just do everyday things. And hopefully these sims, because you don't need to have an access to access these, is you can even just do patrols in these sim rooms. And unfortunately, they don't have auto spawners, which I really wish they did, and honestly, I thought they did. Which would, spawn droids and shit for you to fight. Unfortunately, they don't. But this is also how we hope to alleviate by having more staff members that can be on more often than we have now. Because in counting, I think we have maybe 4 or 5 staff members. And currently with this, how this would go with Stevenson stepping down from Gary's mod and just being a sole dev, is that I'm going to have more direct control of how I want to run things. And hopefully how I want to run things will work out a lot better. Any more questions? Jack, do you have any questions? Just put your little, Haggard, you got another question? Cool. You're on the stage.
So for the passive stuff, I know there's one mod that makes it able so you can switch between maps to maps if everybody goes to the map switching thing. A little bit. Can we try to do something like that? On the on the ship we're on, we can have a little area and people walk to it and they can switch maps to a train map or another map for combat or something to fuck around with.
That's what the Sims are. There's an entire, for the map that we're doing with across from the training room, there's this whole area where there's just these bunch of teleporters that'll teleport you to an urban sim room, and these are not small, these are fucking huge, entire towns. There's an urban sim room, there's a desert sim room, there's a woodland sim room, and a winter sim room. And these have they're all different. They're really, really cool because I've spent, I think, a total of 3 hours already just checking this shit out, testing out the stuff. And it's actually quite fantastic.
I'm pretty sure VG base. I thought it had an auto spawner.
It does, but it's not I'm talking about map wise. So you could if any of you guys have been on the Camino Star Wars Clone Wars RP map, it has the Citadel where you can spawn it. You can just press a button, it'll start spawning in droids and shit for you to fight.
What about what's it called? Not demos. What's it called? For Gary's one at the saves, you can load up a map save. Can you do that? Make a universal save for his uses to load up on.
That's up for the staff team to actually do. Again, the whole thing is that unfortunately we cannot give access for people to spawn entities because you all know that would cause an issue. and there's not a way we can really do it. So we're still relying on staff being around.
I don't know. I'm saying like, can like staff have like all like a universal sim map thing? So like on each.
But
map,
I just thought it's up for the staff to figure out. It's not going to be up for me to make that decision. If they want to like work together, obviously Ziegler's over here taking notes. If you want to, if they want to do that, where they could be like, all right, so this is Droid Sim 1. This is Droid Sim 2. Like they're all different scenarios. Like they can do that. But again, it's not really like my place to force them to do that kind of stuff. Is that all?
Oh yes.
All right, cool. Sergeant, final. I haven't heard from you in for fucking ever, dude. Do you have any questions, man? If there's no more questions, I'm going to be posting pretty much the what we went over in announcements. And again, like if people have questions about what's going on and they come to you about it, tell them exactly what I told you guys, or like try to sum it up as best you can, because the people that's why I was trying to emphasize this meeting so much. And I know at least one person, you all can probably say his name with me in your head, is going to bitch about how they don't know what the fuck's going on because they didn't show up, like they do all the fucking time. But again, this is ultimately up for the community to decide. If I feel no fucking horse, he's always bitching about people not showing up to shit, but like he never shows up himself. I'm gonna put this up as a vote. If it becomes close or a tie sort of thing, I'll probably make the decision. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's okay. If he's watching, he can hear it and he can fucking talk to me himself. Pretty much if the voting comes very close or comes to a tie, I will end up being the tiebreaker. I'm going to be honest with you. The automatic vote for me is going to be Clone Wars. So if you guys really want to do this Clone Wars stuff, I'd make the vote now. If you guys don't, just stick with your guns, because I promise you, like either way, people are going to get knocked down quite a few pegs. Again, like if we go to stick with NorthStar, I'm going to go down to Captain. If we go to Star Wars, I'm going down to Sergeant. Like Staff Sergeant. So, I mean, like, I don't necessarily care about the ranks. It's just the position I want to lead in, Obviously, if Clone Wars does pass, spread the word. We're going to be having our PR guys who are working on a bunch of stuff for both. Like, we pretty much, like, have, I think Jameson and Ziegler are both working on public relations. Ziegler and Jameson are our primary PR people. They're going to be they're working on posters for both NorthStar and Star Wars. So just in case like which one goes. I probably will not count the vote of people that are literally never on the server, if I'm being honest with you. So if someone like, I'm just going to go scroll down a list randomly. If fucking Private Guitar, Lock, Odin, Rackworth, Rusty Spitfire, they all fucking vote NorthStar, I'm literally just going to discount it because I've never seen those guys. So this is more for the people that are actively within NorthStar. So spread the good word. Let people know that this is happening. Obviously, don't go fucking throwing it in the Arma server's face, because, they're going to have a fucking field day with that. If anything, if there's no more questions, you guys are good to go. Hopefully there's going to be an operation tonight. I'm pretty sure Jameson said something about him posting one. I will probably end up showing up, and obviously this operation is probably going to happen within the next hour or so, so just stick by your guns, guys. And not to sound corny, but only the finest.
We choose.